Gina Bang, Director of Marketing here at Avanti Destinations, and we are back in the studio with Kelly, who is the Chief Commercial Officer over at Trip Mate.
Hey Gina, thanks for having me.
It's so wonderful seeing you back in the office. How is everything?
Oh my gosh, happy to be back in Portland. Glad to see, in spite of a little clouds, glad to see everything's going well. And we spent the morning training some of the internal agents and some of the agents you have overseas, and really just catching back up on travel insurance. Now that people are traveling, I think we're almost at our 2019 levels, and we want to make sure people understand the product and how it works in case something happens, and making sure your team knows how to answer any questions that the advisors might have.
Well, they do have questions.
Okay.
Our team has questions. Our customers have questions.
We have answers.
Definitely. You know, the travel industry is all about people and our connections, and I love that at Avanti, many of our partnerships go back so long, and it allows us to keep building on our product and our service.
Agree.
So
absolutely.
We always get compliments about our plans.
Thank you.
People
we appreciate
love
that.
The options.
Good.
Yes.
I think for us, the long-term partnership, and our motto at Trip Mate is your partner in travel, it really does matter because you form a relationship with you and your colleagues and Mark and Paul, and you build on that year after year. And it's the consistency that matters. We get to understand each other. We want to know if there's pain points that are coming up for clients that are traveling. What are they? How can we use the insurance product to address that? Is there something that's hitting the windscreen of you guys or the advisors in-house? What do we need to do from a travel insurance product stance to either tweak the product or to tweak the way we're working with your team or the advisors when claims come up? We know people aren't buying a trip thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I really hope I never need the travel insurance. But if they do, we want to make sure we're there and we're providing the service they expected us to.
How often do you see, operators or providers out there that have their plan pricing based on the package price rather than client's age?
Oh my gosh. So when it comes to customized travel insurance plans, which is what Avanti has, and truthfully, most of our client partners in the industry use a percentage of trip cost. That is the best way, because then you're not penalizing somebody if they're married to somebody who's 64, but they're only 55. Usually that's where the age breaks happen. And suddenly you have two different price points for the insurance product, and it becomes confusing. So what we like to tell our client partners or suggest is use a percentage of trip cost. It's pretty simple formula, straightforward. If your trip is $8,000, then as an example, your insurance is going to be 8.5% of that. It's much easier math than to say, oh, it's $8,000, but that person's 62, that person's 43. These are the different prices. It's makes it a lot harder, and we don't need to complicate insurance any more than it's already complicated.
Definitely. Thanks for going over that. And we also get a lot of questions revolving what are the unique benefits of Avanti's plan? So I'm sure you have, many offers out there. Do you think there's anything particularly unique about how Avanti pitches our travel protection plan? Yeah,
well, again, it's the unexpected, right? You buy insurance for your car, for your house, just in case the unexpected happens. A lot of times people are purchasing an Avanti trip. It could very well be a trip of a lifetime. It might be the most expensive item they spend money on all year. We want to protect them if the unexpected happens. So when we design our travel insurance protection plans, we meet with Josh and Mark and Paul and really the key stakeholders here at the company to say, where are you going? Let's look at those destinations. Let's look at the things that could happen in those destinations. And do we have coverages built into the plan in case something happens? As well as just the normal coverages you would find in a travel insurance plan. Sickness, injury, death to you, a traveling companion, a non-traveling family member. That's a unique cover sometimes that people don't include in their insurance plans they're offering the travelers. So for us, it's really, as you said at the beginning, it's about the partnership. Let's have a dialogue about where you're going, the destinations, and the kinds of coverages you're looking for to make sure the clients are covered if something unexpected happens. One of the features we have in your plan today is the blue ribbon bag tracking, which is super neat. If somebody's bags are lost or delayed, when they come off the airplane, if their bags aren't there, all they have to do is contact Blue Ribbon Bags, and Blue Ribbon will immediately start tracing that bag for them. And it's their goal to have that bag delivered to them within 96 hours. And this way, what we've seen, people who use that service are getting their bags back a lot quicker because as travel's returning, the airlines are still a little bit behind in staffing up. And I think the baggage department is probably one of the last things they staff. At least we're seeing that on the claim side because we are seeing some bags go missing. So for us, it's just one more element we can add into the plan that would give clients peace of mind.
Yeah, we hear about that. We also get a lot of great feedback about the outside air coverage.
Yes, super important.
Unique.
Yeah. So if people aren't booking their air with Avanti and they decide, well, you know what, I'm very particular. I want to fly my airline at this time. I'm going to go out and purchase my own airfare. We don't want that traveler to think, oh, I'm going to have to buy a separate air plan now to cover my airfare. We view it as one package and we provide that outside air cover.
Yeah, that is.
No, that's unique.
So
Not
nice.
A lot of people have that. But again, that's also us understanding the Avanti business model and having the option to have outside air is very important to your clients. So we want to make sure that we're providing a comprehensive plan that would cover that for them.
Yeah, I think that's a great one because, especially on the multi-gen bookings,
Yes.
Not everyone's booking their air with us.
No. And I'm very particular. I will fly my airline even if I have to do 2 stops, which sometimes blows everybody's mind, but it's my airline. I'll get an upgrade or I'm treated well or I know the ins and outs of the app. I really don't want somebody else booking my air. So I'd be one of those people that would say, I need to book my own air.
And one last bit, which I think is super, especially, still now, is CFAR.
Yes.
So we get a lot of questions. Is it really CFAR?
It is really CFAR. So CFAR is cancel for any reason, which legitimately means any reason whatsoever. You wake up and it's cloudy and you don't want to travel, you can cancel and have your claim covered. We also want to make sure that when somebody is canceling for any reason, we don't want to put them through the pain points of going and getting a doctor's note or proving that the weather was cloudy. They just indicate in the claims process that they're canceling for any reason, and then we reimburse 75% of the trip cost, of the non-refundable trip cost. Yeah, so depending on where they canceled, if they're canceling 100%, we'll refund 75%. And whatever they don't get back, we will make them whole up to 75%.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, CFAR is a huge seller. One of the nice features too is that when somebody's purchasing a trip with Avanti and they're purchasing their travel insurance with Avanti versus an outside plan, you are always their advocate. A lot of times we'll get a question or an advisor will contact us and they'll say, oh, my client had questions about the claims process. And they'll say, oh, we're an Avanti insured. We jump right to it. Josh might call us directly or one member of your management team. It's easier than when you have that relationship with the travel insurance provider to say, oh, I'm an Avanti client. Okay, great. Versus Tom, Dick, and Harry who purchased it online and there's no relationship there for your travel advisor to go to that company. Here it's, hey, I'm an advisor and I bought an Avanti plan. Help me here.
Yeah, and we
makes
do
it easier.
appreciate that.
No, of course.
Differentiation.
Well, it's the relationship, right? That's what you're expecting of us. So, of course, we're going to deliver on that. It's very important.
Yeah, so we do have the 2 plans, the one with and the one without CFAR.
Yep. Yeah.
And I always recommend to people that, if they are considering that, adding the travel protection to their trip, that they pay for it with our deposit.
Yes.
And so just get so much more coverage.
You do, because what ends up happening is plans have pre-existing conditions, and our time period to look back if somebody has a pre-existing conditions is 60 days from the day they purchase their plan. So I'll give you a quick example. If I know I'm going to travel in June of next year, I may not be in final payment yet. I can delay when I have to make my final payment. But if I know I'm purchasing insurance and I'm healthy today, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow I could hurt my knee and now I'll have a pre-existing condition. So we always encourage people, purchase your plan today because over the last 60 days prior to this day that you are healthy. So if something comes up and you have to cancel for a medical reason, we're not going to worry about pre-existing conditions. We're going to look back and say, 60 days, pre-existing conditions, she's good to go. And if somebody does have a pre-existing condition, we'll write for the medical records and say the 60 days before they purchased their plan, did they see their doctor about that pre-existing condition? Did anything change? No, that claim would most likely be covered. So we always encourage people, purchase your plan the moment you're putting down your deposit because you know
first payment.
Yeah, you know how you are medically. You know you're capable of traveling. No one's buying a trip and thinking, I'm not really ever going to go on this trip because I have a condition. They're buying a trip today thinking, I'm going to be good to go in June. I'm going to take this wonderful trip. So purchase your insurance now. Protect that investment.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
on the same page.
Yeah, thank goodness. That'd be very disappointing for your viewers if we weren't.
And one last question. I just want to talk a little bit about the claim process and how that works.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have moved over to the digital sphere.
Yes, we've been making a lot of improvements in our clients' shared journey when they have to file a claim. A couple of years ago, TripMate was purchased by Generali right in 2019. And then, of course, the pandemic happened, so that delayed some of the improvements we wanted to make. But we're now at a point where travel's returning, things are stabilizing, and we've been doing a lot of internal initiatives to level up the claims journey for the client if they should have to have a claim. They can upload their documents. They can have, which will be rolling out soon, in addition to having a check mailed or an e-payment check, they'll be able to have a ACH wire to them if they have a claim payment that's due. We're also looking at doing Apple Pay. So we're doing a lot of things from a claims journey experience that would make it easier because, again, nobody ever calls us and says, hey, glad you're there, bye. They call because they have a problem. They open a claim because they have a problem. So we know we're ready, they're frustrated, or there's a pain point. So whatever we can do from a claim standpoint to make this easier for them, we want to. So we just completed what we called a TripMate 360. It was an initiative where we kind of peeled back that onion and said, where are the pain points for our customers? If somebody loses their check and they need to have a stop pay and have one reissued, our turnaround time was 7 days. We're now down to a day. So we're really looking at these things thinking, okay, if I'm sitting in that chair and I'm filing a claim, how can I make this process easier? And that's very important to us. And I'm proud to say we've seen a lot of improvements and we're on a journey to continue even more improvements.
Well, we definitely notice it on our side. We really appreciate the partnership. And
likewise.
We are always promoting TripMate. Every webinar that I do, I always remind people about it because it's super important.
Thank you.
You guys do a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. We've been doing this 35 years. We'd like to think we've somewhat figured it out, but there are new things that come up. In fact, we'll talk at some point down the road about a new feature we'd like to add called Runway Health, where if you're traveling to a new destination and you may not know if you need, a yellow fever shot or something, we're going to build this into plans now where people can just call and get a consult with a doctor for free as part of the plan.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so that's coming. So stay tuned. That'll be the next little webinar thing we do.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait for the update when that comes out. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate all the support and hope to catch you on the next episode.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.